Hello, first grade. Today we're going to do the application problem for Module 4, Lesson 28. Our standard today is adding within 100. Our objective today is I can add using strategies based on place value. Today we have 4 vocabulary words. The first word is add, to bring 2 or more numbers together to make a new total. So the total of 1 plus 1 is 2. Which brings us to our next vocabulary word, sum, the result of adding 2 or more numbers together. So another way to say the total of 1 plus 1 is 2, you would say the sum of 1 plus 1 is 2. Our next vocabulary word is 1. That is what we call any digit between 1 and 9 using our place value chart. And our next word is 10, which we know is a bundle of ones. For example, 1 bundle of ones would be 110, but 2 bundles of 10 ones would be 2 tens. For our application problem today, we're going to add using strategies based on place value. So first, I'm going to read the application problem to you. Then I'm going to read it again while annotating it, paying special attention to certain keywords and phrases that can help me solve today's problem. Anton had some crayons in his desk. His teacher gave him 2 more. When he counted all of his crayons, he had 16 crayons. How many crayons did Anton have on his desk originally? Again, Anton had some crayons on his desk. His teacher gave him 2 more. When he counted all of his crayons, he had 16 crayons. How many crayons did Anton have on his desk originally? Use the RDW method to solve this problem. Here you can see I've annotated the problem for us. Let's go through it sentence by sentence. Anton had some crayons in his desk. When I hear the word some, I know that's not a number. So I circled it because I know some is amount, but I put a question mark over it because I don't know how much some actually is. His teacher gave him 2 more. I circled 2 because I know 2 is a number, and I underlined more because that's one of those words that lets me know I either need to add or subtract. So I underlined it so I can go back to it when I'm ready to solve. When he counted all of his crayons, he had 16 crayons. I underlined all because that's that special word that lets me know I need to add. And I put a circle around 16 because they already gave me my sum. So now I know that I have a mystery number, the number 2, and a sum of 16. This is going to help me write my number sentence. How many crayons did Anton have on his desk originally? I underlined originally because even though it's not a math word, that lets me know that I need to know what originally even means. So in this context, originally means how many did he have before his teacher gave him more. So that's what that mystery number is going to be. So my number sentence is going to be mystery number plus 2 equals 16. Take some time on your paper to solve the problem. Now that we've had time to solve our application problem, before we share out, let's go over some common misconceptions and mistakes we could have made if we were working a little too quickly. So looking at my application problem, I already see 2 numbers that I know. I see 2 and I see 16. So if I was working pretty quickly and not paying attention to my keywords, I probably would have added 16 and 2. But I remember that when I annotated this problem, it told me my sum was 16. So because my total is 16, I know that 16 cannot be an addend. So if you added 2 plus 16 for a total of 18, go back and check your work because one of your addends is incorrect and we already know that our sum is 16. Now that we've solved our problem, let's go over 2 common solutions that I think most of you all probably used. Solution number 1. I solved my problem with quick math drawings. So because our application problem told us that the teacher gave him two more in addition to the ones he already had, a few of us may have already drawn two circles on our paper. On my screen, I made those two crayons, those two circles, orange, so I would know that those were the two more that the teacher gave Anton. Next, I counted up to find out my mystery number. I counted up until I stopped at 16. I added a green circle to represent a crayon for each time I counted. After I counted to 16, I stopped. Then I went back and counted my green circles. I noticed that I added 14 more green circles. That means that my mystery number in this number sentence was 14. So now my number sentence is 2 plus 14 equals 16. If you solved it this way, kiss your brain. Here we have another solution. I solved my problem on a number line. So similar to solution number 1, I started off with 2 because his teacher gave him 2 more. So I figured that's a pretty good starting point. After I started at 2, I jumped up and counted by ones until I got to 16. After I got to 16, I stopped and then I counted my number of jumps because each one of those jumps represents an additional crayon that I've added to my 2 crayons to get me to 16. So after I counted my jumps, I realized I had 14 crayons. So that means that Anton had 14 crayons on his desk, and then when his teacher gave him 2 more, he had 16 altogether. So that makes my number sentence 2 plus 14 equals 16. If you solved it this way, also kiss your brain. Another possible solution is I used quick math drawings and subtraction. A quick way to solve this problem would be to start with the 16 crayons that we know Anton has altogether. We know that his teacher gave him 2 more, and because we want to know how many he had originally, we could take away the 2 that his teacher gave him. After we cross out those 2, we could count what's left over and discover that there were 14 crayons left over, which means that originally Anton had those 14 crayons on his desk. Now that we've solved our problem using different strategies, it's time to do the W part, or the right part, of our RDW application problem. So we need to answer the question using our own sentence. So here's a combination of sentences. If you use any one of these, you're probably a genius, so go ahead and kiss your brain again. Anton originally had 14 crayons on his desk. Anton had 14 crayons originally. Anton had 14 crayons at first. And Anton had 14 crayons before his teacher gave him 2 more. So if you got the essential that Anton had 14 crayons, you solved this problem correctly. Please remember that when we use RDW, it is very important to use a complete sentence. Just saying Anton had 14 is not enough. Anyone reading your paper wouldn't know what he had. He could have 14 monkeys, 14 tacos, or 14 stickers. So please remember to reference the item in your application problem when writing your answer. In this case, it was crayons. So if you included the words or phrase 14 crayons in your answer, you answered your question completely and accurately. Great job, guys. For your exit ticket today, I want you to solve a similar problem to the one in our application problem. I'm going to read it to you 2 times and then leave it up so you have time to solve it. Miss Monroe had some tacos on her plate. Miss Henderson gave her 5 more. When she counted all of her tacos, she had 18 tacos. How many tacos did Miss Monroe have on her plate originally? Use RDW to solve the problem. All right, one more time. Miss Monroe had some tacos on her plate. Miss Henderson gave her 5 more. When she counted all of her tacos, she had 18 tacos. How many tacos did Miss Monroe have on her plate originally? Use RDW to solve your problem. This is your time to solve the problem, in case you weren't sure. You have 30 more seconds. All right, time is up. Take a picture of your exit ticket and post it to Class Dojo for some feedback. Thanks, first grade.